Jason O'Neill here for Hoops Factory TV with Paul Super, one of the luminaries in the Grassroots basketball movement. Paul, you've been around for quite a minute. For instance, you were in the building the day Lenny Cook and LeBron James squared off. However, especially recently, we've seen basically players in the Grassroots who have been ranked lower achieve kind of greater careers. Just recently we were looking at Klay Thompson was ranked in like the 50s in his class. Yeah. Can you speak to kind of the development of players not necessarily kind of maxing out at the high school level?
Well, what I've noticed, I was there with Lenny, these guys, when their games got strong and they got better, they went to the park a lot. Now with the new generation, they're not going to the park, they're not playing as much. If it's AAU practice canceled Thursday, they don't play basketball for the whole week. I'm looking at some of these guys that's underranked. I had a kid, Mustafa Heron, that's I think he's like maybe number 19th in the country. This was a kid from Connecticut that was scared to come into New York and play basketball. Now he just worked on his game. There was guys ranked over him. Finally, the 10th grade going to 11th, he started getting acknowledged as one of the best players in the country. Great student. I noticed the difference too between now and before. There's a lot of parental involvement now. And sometimes it's a blessing and sometimes it's not, because now the parents are coaching, so now the coach has to do an extra job and the kids aren't really getting the message. Right now also, the game is more athletic. The guys are jumping through the gym. Back then it was Lenny, it was LeBron, guys like that. LeBron, as big as he was controlled by Gloria, his mother, and she was a little thing, but she was involved. And right now, a lot of the kids, I think they lose it. They get ranked, and they don't understand, like the guys back in the day. When you get ranked, it was like you was almost like a target on you. Guys would come after you, so you worked harder. Now guys get ranked, they rest on their laurels, they sit back, PlayStation, because I'm already 7th, 8th in the country. And then when they get to college and the ball's rolled out there, and a guy that was ranked 97th run into you and eat you up, you don't understand what's going on now because you tried to rest on your laurels. So just guys have to understand, once you get a scholarship or once you get a high ranking, that's the buzzer being pressed to work harder, not less. And that's the message I think these guys sort of get, the difference between now and now as opposed to the way it was back in the day.
And do you think, like, for instance, getting away from that kind of park atmosphere, for instance, if you go to the park, people don't care what you're rating, you're still just a high school player, versus now everything's kind of done in AAU amongst your own age group?
Well, what happened is the park breeds toughness. There's no check his birth certificate and see how old he is. You know, you come to the gym, you come into the park, you're 15 years old, you're playing against 18, 19, 31-year-olds, and then when you see guys like, for instance, I saw Kenny Anderson, when Kenny was the 8th grader playing against men. So now when you put him back in his age group, it made no sense. I mean, it was almost unfair. And right now the kids, they don't have that grit, that punch. You know, it's a lot of newfangled stuff goes on now with the, dribbling the ball and throwing the cones and stuff like that. Me, myself, I'm old schooler. I don't know how that relates to the game. We used to get down in the park, do your push-ups, sit-ups, and bang and be physical and want to go against older guys. So now when you did enter high school, you looked at, wow, these guys aren't strong. They don't play like I do on 119th Street. So, that element is missing. Everything is now, a guy asked me the other day, when we play in the summer league, is it going to be in an air-conditioned gym? And I was like, no summer league that I know, but, that's the difference with this new era. But you do have some talented kids that are throwbacks. And those kind of guys, they work hard, they don't rest on their laurels, they do their push-ups while they're watching TV, do their sit-ups, and they're great students. And those are the throwback athletes. And there's quite a few of them. I've seen quite a few.